there, but I want to share the live stream. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is beeping.
Okay. Melody. I have to tell you something about
I'm here. You got this.
Okay. Melody Kelley.
Yes.
You got us going in circles.
Yeah. I got All right.
Dr. Melody Kelley. We can't see your whole face.
Are we good now?
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's start healing.
Oh, we're already live.
Yes, we are live.
Let's start healing.
Let's start healing.
Okay, I want to share on my Facebook story. Since we're live.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay.
And Melody.
Yes.
What do we say? We have
more in common than we think. And what we have in common can
change the world. We have more in common than we think, and what we have in common can change the world.
Tell me about it.
And I have to say thank you for joining me for this 200th episode. It means a lot. Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie's joining us.
Stephanie.
Can you hear us okay? Of course, we're going through some logistics over here.
Yeah. My fault.
Not your fault. You're here, and I'm happy.
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy. Did you have a good day today?
It was a day.
What happened?
It was a day.
What was the day? How?
It was like I was met with a certain type of resistance today that I'm not used to.
From people or within yourself?
People, which I assume is caused from within me.
Well, I have to say that you are Dr. Melody Kelley, that you are a college professor, and you are a city councilwoman for the city of Sandy Springs. So when you say this, you mean resistance with the public, I'm thinking.
Sorta. Yeah.
Can you share?
Yeah. I'm you know what it is? Juneteenth is 3 weeks away.
Yes.
And I'm just dealing with the strain of delivering.
Yes.
Of delivering that.
Yes. I have been meaning to ask you about Juneteenth because I'm really looking forward to. Oh, we did talk about it because this year is going to be outdoors. You put on you have a team that puts on an event for the city every year. This will be the third annual one? The third.
Right.
Yes. And for the first time, it's going to be outdoors.
Yes.
Now,
Completely.
if it's like it is this last 7 days in the city of Atlanta, we don't know what we're going to do. It might be like the Atlanta Jazz Festival. Huh?
So that's been stressful. Correct.
Will you move it inside?
We will have to pivot.
Okay.
So
all right then.
We'll decide closer. Let's hope. We're in a good position.
So it was resistance, anxiety, or
just like logistics and internally, like with city staff. Like I guess the tension is it's a community event, but it's also a function of city government.
Mm-hmm.
And so the tension is there, right? Like where government operations versus community.
Right. Well, so given that, Stephanie, she says that you have a bad echo.
Why do it?
Yes. Yeah. So she has silenced herself for now. And I want to say while she's gone that Stephanie and Melody Kelley are two people who have been with me and a support of Let's Start Healing since the beginning, since episode 1, and we're now on episode 200. And Melody would be so committed in those early days of listening to every episode, and she had so much feedback. I'm hearing that you can't necessarily find me on Instagram, so we're going to keep it moving. Stephanie says that could be an error on her part, but we are on YouTube Live, and we should be on Facebook Live under my personal account and under Let's Start Healing's Facebook account. So, as I said, in those early days, Melody was so supportive, and the episodes have been pretty deep. I was going through some of the episodes just from episode 100 to 200, and there's just so much. I'm mentioning Stephanie. We did an episode on mental health, and that was really a profound episode about how...
For some reason I can't hear. So give me a sec. I don't know.
Now she's having an issue with hearing. What she might have to do is go out and come back in. So what was I saying? That we had some episodes that were pretty deep. And, you know, that's kind of what I shoot for. And I had one, episode 137 with Stephanie, where we talked about mental health and, you know, just trying to get through the stress of life and get through the stress of the day, and tools that we might use respectively to do that. And Stephanie was bringing forth, you know, tools from breath work, journaling. I was talking about people that I may go to, spiritual teachers I may go listen to on YouTube, prayer, meditation. We talked about so many different things. And also, other notable episodes include talking about men's mental health. Bear with me because Melody is coming. She was coming back on stage, back on the podcast. Let me see if I can bring her back. Oops.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me? What is that?
She for some reason cannot hear us.
For some reason I cannot hear you.
And she may have to go back to her other device.
And I did hear you, so let me check my settings.
There's the echo, Melody.
Got it.
Oh, I think she's trying to work out the echo. So one of the things I wanted to say was some of our strongest episodes have been around men's mental health. And my dear friend and fellow podcaster, Sandra McIntosh, and we did an episode 187, on men's mental health, where we were reflecting on another podcast. And I'm sorry that it's slipping my mind, the podcast we were referring to. And that was one of our strongest episodes about just giving our take on what we were hearing men say that they were experiencing. And I've also had on my nephew and my cousin, who are, I think my cousin just turned 40 and my nephew's in his early 40s, and another friend who's around my age. And the three of them were talking about men's mental health and just sort of the things that men deal with in silence that we don't always hear about. And that was pretty profound. Another strong episode we had was with Pastor Mayo Sowell, who is here actually in the Atlanta area. So it looks like she can hear me. You can't hear me.
Yes.
No,
But if I talk, there's an echo.
I think it seemed like maybe there was no echo for a second.
Stephanie, is there an echo?
It seems better to me. It seems better, but maybe somebody could send us a comment and let us know if you hear an echo. Keep talking.
Okay. Still an echo. Yeah. I was about to switch devices.
You may have to go back to your original device, which isn't quite as clear visually, but this is a good, clear image of you.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Brandy. So we did an episode with a pastor here who spent, actually, I think it now was last May, so May 2025. He spent a week living homeless on the streets of Atlanta. And he had no cell phone, he had no funds, and he shared what that experience was like. And that is episode 182. Really, that was really something. He talked about the people that he encountered, the struggles that they had, fear, heightened awareness when he came across one particular individual. She's trying to come back to the stage. Well, let me see here. 1 second. She's trying to come back. Okay. You there? Melody? Aw, this is such a bummer. Can't hear you.
How about?
What'd you say?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, now I can hear myself in your background. Maybe it's your mic. Maybe just don't have a mic. Maybe go back to your iPad. Don't have a microphone.
Okay.
Were you using a microphone on your iPad?
No.
Oh.
I was not. I don't know what was causing
right now you sound kind of clear. I don't know why the image is so gray, but you're here. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. I don't know. We did okay last time.
I don't understand what is going on. How about your cell phone and just do it horizontal? How about that?
All right.
I'm trying to come up with ideas, folks. We're losing people here.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I'll try that.
These things happen.
I don't know what's happening. Yeah.
Better today than tomorrow when you do your podcast.
Actually,
She doesn't like when I mess with her like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try my.
Proud of you, Adrian. 200 episodes. Thank you. And making a difference every step of the way. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. We had episode 160, which was with a former colleague of mine, Leon Stafford. And he was sharing his life experience as a gay man growing up, sharing and revealing who he is to his family, what that's been like. That was really, really awesome. And episode 155 was with a dear friend, Jacqueline Drumright, and we talked about surviving grief. And that episode, actually, we talked and had that conversation during Christmas because, so often people will feel down during Christmas time when we'll think that the rest of the world is, really jubilant. So that was pretty powerful. I'm really looking forward. There's one particular milestone that we had. Hi, Jyoti. Thank you for being here. And I think she's trying to get it together and she's going to come back on. Here she is. Melody. Yeah. So there's a few things that I want to chat with you about, but I'm trying to wait for Melody so we can really get into it. One of the things that was Yoti, she was on my 24-hour episode, as was Melody, as was Stephanie, so many others. We had a 24-hour episode last September where we raised funds for Georgia Appleseed Center for Law and Justice, and they actually help homeless families. And it was awesome. I had people here with me, which is what we should have gone for with Melody today. But because it was 24 hours, I talked to Jyoti in London. I talked to people in Thailand, a family member in Portugal. I talked to them during the wee hours of the morning. And I had friends here in the Atlanta area, across the U.S. really, during the day and into the late night. So that was awesome. And I do plan to do that again this year and hopefully have it at a destination and have it in person, and it won't be all virtual. Well, gosh, one of the things that I wanted to share, and I was waiting for Melody to come back, is that I just had this profound experience this past weekend. I went on a silent retreat, and it was so awesome. It was with 40 women, and we were together from Friday evening to Sunday. I actually left early on Sunday. And the whole weekend, I'm going to try to go deeper when Melody comes back. But the whole weekend was in silence. It was about reflection. It was about praying, meditating, however you do that personally for yourself, journaling. And the person who put on this event, her name is Lauren Morton. And she has an organization that she calls Be at Peace, like BEE at Peace. And she started these retreats in 2019. Her mother passed, she said, and this is public knowledge. Her mother passed in 2018 from a nervous breakdown, she said. And so she wanted to start this retreat actually for Black women who she feels go through stress that is not often acknowledged. So, okay, here's Melody back. You back?
I don't know. Still echo?
It's still an echo.
That is so weird.
I don't know. Did you? So you're using your phone?
Yeah. But what is the setting?
Well, you don't want to use the setting. If you're using your phone, you should just be using the regular mic.
I'm just coming in like a normal person on every device.
Oh my.
Why is it echoing?
I don't know.
I can't make sense of this.
I can't. I don't know. Brandy says maybe use your phone for your mic and speaker on laptop for your camera. I don't. Somebody actually did that on a Zoom I was on, and that did work recently. So you turn off the camera, I believe, on one device, and you use that as audio. But the audio seem to not work on all your devices, right?
I'm
I'm
echoing.
Can you hear me?
I
I
can,
can. Okay.
but I
But I
am
am
echoing.
echoing.
And I
And I
don't know
don't
if
know
I
if I
can
can
prevent
prevent
that.
that.
Like
Like
it's
it's I don't understand. I don't understand. Hmm. Okay. Oh gosh. Well, we're gonna pray that this works. Because there's always so much insight that comes from Melody. I really want her to be a part of this. I was sharing that I was on a silent retreat with more than 40 women this past weekend. And it was a retreat that was put on by Lauren Morton. And it was at this place here in where I am in Sandy Springs, Georgia, and where Melody is, called St. Ignatius Retreat Center. And it's actually a Jesuit retreat center. And I went with the mindset that, oh, this is a spiritual retreat, and anybody can come of any background, and that is what it was. And so we each had our own private room, and the place is on 20 acres, and it's wooded, and the river is there. And it did rain last weekend, but we were able, in between the downpours, we were able to enjoy the grounds. And it was just, I went with the mindset of, I just want to be open to whatever God wants me to know. And the very first night that we were there, before we went into silence, we got there, we had dinner, and then we all met and for conversation with Lauren. And, she told us about her background and everything. And a lot of women have been coming there since 2019, but some were new like me. And so anyway, she went around the room and she asked, the women, if you felt comfortable sharing, why you were there and what you wanted to get out of it, to please, stand up and share that. And these were women of all ages, young women in their 30s, older women closer to 70. There was one mother and daughter there, and I was telling Melody about this because I think her daughter is maybe 19. And there was a woman there. She said she was 55, and her daughter, I think, was about 20. And if your child was between the ages of 19, between the ages of 19 and 25, they were able to go for free. And so they came together to the retreat. And there was another mother and daughter who came, and they were an older mother and daughter who came to the retreat. And everyone spoke about how they might have been burned out for this reason or that reason, and they wanted to be refreshed. One person was going through a breakup, a divorce. Somebody else was grieving. It was just a lot of different reasons that people came, and everyone was just really, really open to each other and what each person had to say. And then she would give you prompts. Lauren would give you prompts to think about. And so the first one for Friday was, what do I really want? First she said, what do I really want? Hey, you there?
Yeah. Am I still echoing?
I feel like that's a little better. Maybe somebody can keep talking, and maybe somebody can
Okay.
chime in and let us know.
What do you really want?
That sounds better to me. But somebody who's listening can share. Yeah, it was a question to ask yourself, what do I really want? And then to bring it home, she rephrased it, quoting someone, I can't remember their name, as what do I want really? Everything comes back to what do I want really?
What do I really want? What do I want really?
Mm-hmm. And I went to what do I want really? And my thing always comes back to, God, what do you want me to know? Doggone it. Now I hear an echo. Let me see. Let me keep talking. Okay, I don't hear it now. Hi, Elisa. Hi, Elisa. I'm so glad you're here. We are trying to get our sound together because Melody left again. Melody's been having an issue with the audio, and we've been trying to get the sound together. And so I've been sharing how I was on a silent retreat this past weekend. And the first night it was with more than 40 women. And the first night or evening on Friday, the person who was leading this, here comes Melody. Hey there. Hi, can you hear me?
Not sure what just happened.
Okay, you all, let us know. Let us know if you still hear an echo. We need you to talk, Melody, to see if they hear echo from you. Hey, Sandy. Sandy B. Sandra is here. I was talking about the episode that we did on men's mental health, and I could not, off the top of my
Now I
head.
can't hear for some reason. I'm sorry. This is.
I
Hello?
do not. I'm here.
Nope. All right. I'm going to go out and come back.
Okay. I am affirming that this is going to come together. I am affirming this. So, and New York Chica's telling me that it sounds muffled and an echo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to affirm that this is going to come together. Multiple audio sources. She has been trying on different devices, and I'm trying to think. Okay, here she comes again. Do you have only one device operating one right now, Melody?
This one.
Just one.
Yeah. I've tried the laptop, the iPad. Now I'm on the phone.
Okay. Now you're on your phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Leveraging the phone now.
Now I can hear you. Tanya, New York Chica, do you hear an echo? I'm going to see if she can respond. Anybody let me know if you hear an echo from Melody. But they can't answer that question if you're not talking, Melody.
I'm ready to talk. Are we still on the retreat?
Yeah, I know that you sound a little muffled to them. She said yes. Yeah. Well, you know what you could do is you could be here with me and you could type things in. You could type in your comments.
I'm figuring this out. We used the same setup a little while ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what is this?
I don't know.
Yeah. This is weird.
It's very bizarre. I've run out of ideas. I have. Let me see if there's anything. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I can do on my end. She's no, it's okay. It's okay. I was just noticing that you had silenced again. So as I said, when I thought about from the silent retreat, the question was, what do I want really? And for me, it was, I want to know what she said back up a bit, meaning Melody. She said back up a bit. You maybe back away.
As in from?
Yeah, you do seem like you're on, like it's a little too close, but I can hear my echo on your. Okay, so start talking.
Hello?
So now, are you using two audio, your mic and the device mic in some way?
I am not.
You're not. Oh my gosh.
That was even worse. Sorry.
Back. Okay, cool. That was me playing with settings. Sorry.
Okay, let me see. Talk again.
Adrian, it is a joy to be with you today.
Okay. Can Melody try headphones? Mute mic and put on your headphones.
Yeah, I'll put on some headphones.
Oh yeah. Great idea.
Okay, let me
Do
do
I
that.
hear echo? My echo. Okay, she's coming back. So hopefully that will work. And I was mentioning when I went the question of what do you want really? Elisa said that worked. She's gone though now. I'm hoping that she'll come back. She should be back in a second. And hopefully the headphones will work. While I'm waiting for her, I think I'm going to share with you some of the other prompts. One of the things was, what kind of light are we praying for? Facing what's wrong, what's the best perspective I can take with grace and insight? How can I pivot if, this applied to you? So one of the things that I'll be totally honest about is exactly the joy of technical. Add to the stage. She is back. Okay, how's this? Unmute. You have to unmute. She's like, I know. It can be very.
So I've unmuted. What are we doing now? How am I sounding?
I think
Echo?
you sound. I think you sound okay. Please, somebody tell us if that's better. Keep talking. Tell us about how frustrating this has been, Dr.
Let me tell you something. I have a whole sheet of notes and questions that I wanted to discuss. So this has been interesting. But
sounds
I don't
great.
know.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Sounds great. Better. Perfect.
Are we in good shape?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going with
We're in
it.
good
Now
shape.
back up a little bit so we can see your whole beautiful face. Yes.
Please don't start with the podcast snobbery. You need the lighting and when you put a filter on. It's all good.
No, I didn't suggest a filter. I don't think you should have a filter. Oh, they said fixed. Yay. Thank you, Tanya. That was her idea. I think. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in. Thank you. So
yeah.
What did you want to? Did you want to share something and take a breath? Drink some water. I'm gonna drink some water too. Here's my water. It's not vodka or gin or anything.
We'll see. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. No, it's not. Well, I mean, hey, it's your 200, so
exactly.
Maybe. Okay. So where are we in the conversation? Are we still talking retreat?
Yes, I was talking retreat.
Yes.
So you actually are aware of this person. I learned about this person through you and Lador. another friend and about this retreat. They sent it in a chat and I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in this."
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
went.
I definitely want to do it next time. Like
Yeah.
make it a mother-daughter kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
that's
It
definitely.
really, it reminded me of when I went to the mountains this one time. Sometimes I will bring up how it was just utter silence and you were just with yourself, although it was not utter silence. You did hear outside noise,
Hmm.
whether it was in the facilities we were in or, just the birds outside or the rain outside. But I guess we were just like open to go there within ourselves. And
Hmm.
it was, we just felt a connection respectively. It felt like everybody just felt a connection. And so I immediately, oh, you know what I wanted to share now? I have to, doggone it,
Mm.
dog. There's something I wanted to share, and it's in the other room, dog. Okay, so
So what do you want to do?
no, it's okay. I won't read it. But everything that first night was so simpatico for me
Ooh.
because I what Lauren was saying was, maybe you want to pray and meditate. Maybe you want to journal. Maybe you just want to sleep. And if you just want to sleep the whole weekend,
I know that's right.
then do
Come
it.
on, sleep.
So it was no pressure, just do whatever you want. And so, like I said, I wanted answers. And I have from the church that I recently joined, they have a monthly pamphlet called The Daily Thought for every day of the month.
Mhm.
And so I had not read Friday's thought. And when I went back to my room that night, and Friday's thought was about resting, just like letting yourself rest and be open. And then Saturday's thought was about literally was talking about retreat and being open to
Oh.
something new. And it was just, I had my Course in Miracles book. And what I turned to in my Course in Miracles book was relating to, the moment for me. And so I just started, just journaling to God. And I want to share something that is super personal, but this may help somebody. So I'm going to share it. So I bought a journal. I have a gazillion journals. I bought a journal dedicated to um my
You're what?
girlfriend, my girl down there,
Ooh,
my hoo-ha, my hoo-ha.
hold on.
Yes. And she has a name.
I don't know if it's appropriate to give us the name, like,
Come
but
on.
yeah, that's
Well,
cool.
maybe I won't give you the name. I won't give
Yeah,
you
save something for
it's
the honeymoon or something.
it's operatic, if that's the way you put it. It's like from an opera,
Oh,
uh,
is it?
or refers to opera in nature. And
Okay.
so I bought a journal and I gave her a name because I feel like she has really been through a lot. And I don't mean that like physically, I mean
So
that
then
like
what if
emotionally.
say that? Because you
You
know
know,
what we think when you
she's
say
been
that.
through a lot. She's
Golly.
been through a lot.
She's been through a lot. All
Physically,
right.
she's been through a lot. Emotionally, she's been through a lot.
All right.
She could use more joy. She protects me. She protects me. And she has rage sometimes, and there's just a lot. And so I decided I am going to get a journal and write to her. So what I did was I bought the journal. I had started doing that. This was a couple months ago, but I hadn't written a lot in it. And it's a nice looking journal too.
Mm.
I went and I got me a nice journal. And so at the retreat, I wrote to her in the retreat. And then I said, a lot of times in my journal, I like to write to the Holy Spirit or God or Jesus or my mom, or my dad, just I like to do that, like my late mom or late dad. And so, but most of the time it's like God. or Holy Spirit. And so I told her that I'm going to write to God in this journal, but I'm writing, my voice is our voice. And, I just started. It was amazing. And then on Friday night, I had this dream, and the dream was, I can't remember all the details. Oh, she left. I need somebody here to keep me company while I'm sharing this personal story. We don't see your video anymore, Melody. So anyway, the dream, I can't remember all the details, but I actually wrote out the entire dream in the journal. And in the dream, I ended up being in this situation with a man, and suddenly my clothes were coming off. And I looked down and I'm like, why are my clothes off? And it wasn't like I didn't remember how my clothes got off. And I wrote out the whole dream in my journal. And as I'm writing, but I thought it was my fault that my clothes were off. And so I'm writing the whole thing out in my journal. And then I'm realizing that I blame myself, or have in the past, for so many different situations that might have been abusive in some kind of way, hurtful in some kind of way. And I felt like the dream was an example of that. And I think that's something that a lot of times we tend to do. We can be in some type of trauma situation and think that it is all our fault. Were you here
Wow.
during that whole time?
Yeah, I was. I could hear the whole time. I don't know what just happened. It's
Yeah,
just that kind of
yeah.
situation.
So, I did not intend to share that, but I don't mind sharing it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
you're like, "Oh, okay, that's good."
Yeah. So this is an experience you had at the silent retreat. I want to make sure
Oh, yeah, all of this is the silent retreat. I'm trying to think, and then
wow.
on Saturday, we met 3 times where we didn't talk, but Lauren talked, to give us, like, prompts. But I also took a book with me called, Narrative Healing, and it, helps you to unpack your story, and it gives you prompts in that book. And so I was writing in my journal from the prompts, and then I would pray and meditate. Like, everything just felt like very connected and,
Mm,
cohesive for me. And one of the things for me was around my podcast, and,
mhm.
God, what do you want me to do? Am I even
Right.
supposed to be
Yes.
doing this? Like, what?
Yeah.
You know? And so then I realized, and everything was make it clear and obvious, make it clear and obvious. I got that from Clarice, our facilitator
I
from
love that.
the Course in Miracles group.
Yeah.
And I realized that me even asking the question, what am I supposed to do, means I have a desire. Like, if my desire, like, I want to serve God, and this is the way that I want to serve God. This is one of the ways I want to serve God. And, and God wants what we want. Our will is God's will, as long as it's in love. And so I was just writing through that. Just everything was a lot. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah. Did anything come up
Yeah.
related to podcasting? Related to that
You mean
inquiry?
in my spiritual inner work, or what do you mean?
Yeah. I think I do.
Yeah.
You said you sort of posed the
Yes.
question, if you
Yes,
will.
yes, yes. I don't have my journal in front of me, but a lot came up with, yes, this is what I feel I'm supposed to be. My screen is freezing. Can you see my screen froze? Um,
Yeah, it looks fine.
okay. So yes, that the fact that I was asking about something that I really want means that I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on. because, our passion is divine.
Mhm.
And so then she said something like, one of the prompts was write 10 lines about yourself.
10
And
lines.
yeah, 10 lines as if it were a poem. And my
Mhm.
10 lines were about let's start healing, and it was, let's start healing is my baby, badass and, bold and ask provoking questions. And, is trying to get to, I wish I had my book in front of me, but, to be a pathway to healing, but through conversations that can help, other people, that can help me and the guest I'm on, but also, the listeners, especially the guest who's on and also the listeners. And, but through, sometimes hard conversations.
How'd you come up with the name for the podcast? I mean, take us back.
My, my friend Cynthia Young, I was talking to her in those brainstorming days, and I had some name I wish I could think of because I've actually brought it up to her and said whatever the name was, and she was like, "No." And she comes from a radio world.
Uh-huh.
She's been a radio personality, and so I said something, and she said, "No, that's not it. That doesn't work." And so then maybe and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and so then I think I called her back, and I said, "What about let's start healing?" And so then she said, "Yeah, that's it." And she's got a deep voice, and so she's like, "Yeah, you say something, and you go." And let's start healing. She just said that like real deep. And I was like, okay, I'm going with that. And, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mhm.
just think the words are interesting,
Why
right?
is that?
Like start. I guess your impression was that we weren't healing. We weren't.
Yeah. You know what? I was I was watching a podcast this morning, TD Jake's podcast, because I
Mhm.
said to myself, I was looking for something and I was like, man, I haven't watched his podcast in a minute. And, who have I missed being on his podcast? And he had on this month, I love this guy, Dr. Jay Barnett. Do you know him?
Yes.
I
Yeah, you
love that
introduced me to him through another podcast.
guy. I
Yeah,
like that
he
guy.
has his own. He has his own
Yes.
podcast.
I think his is
Yeah.
called Just Heal, but I think he might have even more than one podcast. But anyway, they said something he said something, TD Jake said something like, the struggle to wholeness.
Mm.
Like, tell me about the struggle to talk about the struggle to wholeness. And this is, I've been up like 15 minutes or something. And I'm like, whoa, like I feel that is something that's major to me. Like it is a struggle to wholeness. Like,
Mhm.
you have to be committed and it's ongoing.
Yep.
You get to a place and you're like, wow, I did that. I came through that. And then it's another place and then it's another place. And
Mhm.
so healing is, healing all that agita, all the stuff,
Mhm.
we falsely believe for whatever reason, about ourselves or about other people or the world that impacts us.
So, I mean, 200 episodes later, let me ask, do you think we have started healing? Do
Some
you
of
do you
us.
do you think that your platform has kind of primed the pump a little bit or
Prime to pump. I hope so.
okay.
So, I want obviously I want a bigger, wider audience so that some of these great conversations can get out there because I was sharing, when we were, in the early minutes of the conversation, I was sharing some of the episodes we've had. And, they've been on grief and men's mental health
Yes.
and just so many things. One of my friends was on talking about his life as a gay man and just growing up and sharing who he is with his
Mhm.
family and friends and the public and just these different walks of life that we have, that people have, been gracious enough to talk to me about, I'm grateful for. Even one of my dear friends, Jania Hale, she has a podcast on joy. And we talked about how joy is our birthright.
Yes.
And yeah,
Oh,
so
that's comforting. That's
mhm,
comforting.
yeah.
That is comforting.
Mhm.
One of my favorite episodes, and I actually don't know if it's an episode in its own right or if it's an intro, right? There was a point where you started doing these really robust intros.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so, but it was where you did a reflection. You were very vulnerable about a little breakup that you
Oh,
had
yeah,
some time ago.
that was an episode. I just went to that shortly before we started, because I talked for an hour almost.
Oh, that's why I didn't notice it. I was looking for, I thought normally when it's just you go
Yeah,
maybe 30,
yes,
25.
yes.
Yeah.
I
So it
was
was an hour.
I was
Okay.
surprised it was that long.
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
surprised it was that long. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's still a lot. Like, I obviously don't feel the pain
Hmm.
now, but that was a real interesting, I don't wanna say test, that's not quite the right word, or
Right.
exercise, or there were experiences in that relationship
Hmm.
and the end of it, that have proved very insightful for me.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah, and I wanted to share going through that, because I had shared being in the relationship. So I just
Hmm.
didn't wanna, on social media. So I just didn't wanna be like, "Oh, I'm not talking about this anymore." I wanted to
Yeah.
bring it full circle
Yeah.
that, this ended.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That episode really resonated.
Yeah,
It
how
really
so? You
resonated.
said that to me at the time, and I was just wondering
Hmm.
how did it do that?
It you had a way, you were descriptive and authentic. Um, but it was about you. You know what I mean? Like there was no, it just was, to me it just wasn't the average kind of narrative
Yeah.
when someone's in that situation. And it made me sort of think about me. And I walked away thinking that it may not always work out, but man, it's worth it for the experience.
Mhm.
You know, like it was an experience.
Yes.
And you know,
Yeah.
that was it. And so for those of us like myself who, I don't know, maybe I deal with a certain type of fear,
Mhm.
thinking that, it has to be perfect, you know, before you jump, you sort of
Yeah.
uh intertwine a little bit. You just made it seem okay.
Well, thank
It
you.
was okay.
Thank you. It took me a
Yeah,
minute to get past that big
yeah,
time.
right.
What was interesting for me about sharing that episode was that men thought they were critical of me. A few men that I know were critical of me, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. And then
Mhm.
I don't know if I shared this with you or not. And if I didn't, maybe you can, this will refresh your memory. You can give me your take. And then I would ask my women friends, "Hey, did you feel this way?" Or, "When you listen to this, let me know." And they didn't feel that way. So there was a real difference. But I think I do understand men now. I think I have a little more, I'm enlightened. I understood men before, but I think I'm a little more enlightened
Yeah.
about this now, because I had made a comment. We were flying, we took a couple of trips,
Hmm.
overseas, right? And on the second trip, he had commented, we were using his miles or benefits, which he only had so
Yep.
many that would
Hmm.
allow you to fly. What is the thing
Yep.
that you fly when you're
I
like
think it was Delta One
Delta
or
One?
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he only had like maybe not only he had, maybe 6 he could fly Delta One, 6 times or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And so he had said something like, we're not always going to be able to do
Yeah.
this.
Right.
And so this was right before we were about to get on the plane and excuse me, for one of the trips. And so I said, the way that I took that was that he was putting a cap on what was possible.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's not how I move through the world.
Right.
It may be that I'm only here and I'll always be only here, but I don't move through the world in my spirit like this is the way it's always going to be.
Mm.
And so it affects me to hear language that says something different, that says
Yep.
you're only going to do this ever, ever,
Yeah. It was sort
So
of an abundance shortage
yes.
kind of
And
tension right there.
yes.
Yeah.
And so he brought that up twice. Like he brought it up right before we got on the plane and then right before we landed.
Mhm.
And so both times, the
You kind
second
of push
time,
back.
both times I pushed back. And the second time I said, well, speak for you. Or I literally said,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and because I was taking it that way. And so then the men thought that I was being ungrateful and that what he wanted to hear was, um, I don't care what happens as long as we're together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
He was
so
seeking a certain kind of comfort. Yeah.
yeah, and I do feel that way, but that wasn't the way that I was receiving what he was
Hmm.
saying to me. So and one of the things for me is I was talking to somebody. I was just talking. Cannot believe the stuff I can't remember these days. But I was just talking to somebody and I was saying how talking about communication,
Hmm.
and how if I if I'm with a man and I need him to let me know if I say something that hurts his feelings. I need to
Oh, okay.
I need him to let me know that because that is not something I ever want to do. And
Hmm.
secondly, the way that he received it is probably not the way I intended it or
Yeah.
is not the way that I meant it at all. So it's important, for me that you let me know how I impact you, because I don't want you walking around thinking something about me that isn't true about how I feel about you and what my
Hmm.
mindset is. Because the one thing that I do is speak how I feel.
Oh, you do.
That hurt
Hmm.
me. I feel this way. What did you mean? Just you can't say you don't know.
Hmm.
You can't say you don't know. I will cry. I will be emotional. When I say emotional, like I'll share my emotions.
Hmm.
So I mean that in a positive way. So
Right. You
uh
need that
yeah.
reciprocated to some
But
degree.
I am more sensitive about some of his experiences, from that relationship, even though
Okay.
that relationship was not good for me,
Okay.
but I am definitely more thoughtful about some of his experiences and things that I think he probably didn't share because he might
Okay.
not have felt um, safe or comfortable sharing, or
I
being
got
like
you.
vulnerable and sharing.
Okay. Okay. So you ready and you got your notebook? Did y'all talk about that in your notebook?
Talk about what? Oh, you
Your
mean in
your
my
notebook
journal?
you use yeah, your journal that
No,
you
I
used
don't
at the
need to talk
retreat. Did
about
you
that.
Okay. I got you. No, I mean
No,
like any
I
like the
did say
future,
I did
you know.
say I did. Let me take that back. I talked about wanting a man who I love so much. And I literally said it like that. I love so much and he loves me so much. And I am safe with him and he is
Mhm.
safe with me. I absolutely did write that.
Okay.
I
Yeah, that's
absolutely
all.
did. Yeah. And but
That's
it
it.
when you haven't had that, it's hard
Mhm.
to believe, that I should say, I don't like when people do what I just did. When you
Yep.
haven't had that, I mean me,
Yeah.
I haven't had that. And so it can be hard to believe that somebody can really love me, and I think I even wrote about that. Like, it used to be that I might meet 2 or 3 men a year, that were interested in me. And, I might date them and I've been in some extensive relationships, but I haven't been in a relationship where someone just loved me to the point that men can love a woman, like love
Wow.
me no matter what, love the good, the bad, the ugly, just
Mm.
love me, period, and has been open to me. And, like the idea of somebody trusting me. I remember one
Mm.
time I thought that this man I was involved with in New York, I thought he had trusted me, and it meant so much. And then I
Yeah.
realized he didn't trust me. I was like, wow, like it had meant so much for those 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but ultimately you see that as something uh that's about them and not so much about you.
Yeah, but I mean, I want it. And I do feel that, it's hard not to internalize,
Mhm.
about feeling lovable. That's something I've had to get to, to understand. I've had to heal, to understand that, yes, I am lovable. Yeah.
So, 200 episodes. I want to
Mhm.
just go back there to that accomplishment. Was there ever a point where or were there points where you felt like it was a grind, or did it kind of flow for you? I mean, I can't imagine. It's a labor of love, I imagine. So,
It's both. I mean, this is the best part. The conversation is the best part. And people do podcasts in different ways.
mhm.
Some people, they have the conversation, whether it's live or let's say it's recorded. They have the conversation and they just put it up there, boom, and I have to go through it
Yeah.
and, try to edit it. And it used to be audio only, and I would take out all the ums and the ahs because I wouldn't want a guest to feel self-conscious about all the ums and the ahs and all of that. So, yes, it has felt like a grind. And it takes hours. I don't know why, but it takes me hours to get,
Yeah.
like, it used to be I used to just work on it straight, like 11 straight hours. But now
Wow.
I'll do it in chunks. And
Mhm.
I know Sandra, I don't know if she's still on, but I know she's probably the same way. Just the
Yeah.
editing is just I know
So
you
what are
can
you look
stop.
uh, what are you looking forward to for the next 200?
I am looking forward to more great conversations, some dream guests that I wanna have on. Marianne Williamson was
Yeah, Marianne.
ultimate. She was my number 1 dream guest.
Yes.
So,
So
um,
where do you go from Marianne Williamson?
you know who I really want to have on? And I'm like,
Let's speak it. Come on.
I have to really I feel like I have to do a lot of work before I talk to this person, if he were ever to say yes, because I feel like I just wanna listen. I don't really
Mm.
know, you ever feel like that about somebody? Like, I just wanna listen? But
Oh yeah.
I would love to have, Michael Bernard Beckwith.
Oh, we're
Uh,
gonna put that out
he's
there. Oh,
right now
that would.
yeah, he's my now so versus him, like, with him, I feel like, what do I wanna say? What? I feel like that versus I would love to talk to Iyanla, and I know stuff I wanna ask Iyanla, you know?
Be careful with her. She'll get you together now.
Well, I wanna ask her about her.
Oh, okay.
I wanna ask her about her. Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are 2 dream guests I would love to have on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to have more men on as well. I mean, I have men on,
Mm.
but I would love to have some more men on because they're always just interesting and people really resonate. I guess because men don't talk much. You know, they're always
Some of
interesting.
my favorite episodes are you and your family, nephews, yeah,
Yeah.
cousins. I remember the episode you did, Black Men in 2020. I can't remember the title,
Oh,
but it was
yeah.
like 2020 and black men navigating 2020.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know, you have a way sometimes of really meeting the moment
Oh,
about
thank you.
things.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. Cafe 290, that series, that,
Yeah. Yeah.
episode.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, Sandy said they would be great episodes. I keep saying Sandy Sandra because your handle is Sandy B.
Yeah. What's up, Sandra?
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying before you came on that, you know, the 24-hour episode that you were both on, Elisa, who's here
The
too.
live. Oh,
Yeah,
that marathon.
yeah, that
Wow.
was awesome.
That
Yeah.
was a lift. Yeah. You did that too.
Well, you
Yeah.
guys helped big
Yeah.
time. You guys helped
Right.
big time.
Do
Yeah.
you feel like you've inspired people to get into it?
I don't know. Are you saying that because you have a podcast? Have you been inspired?
Why do you keep plugging me? Like,
She
stop.
has a podcast,
It's
ladies and gentlemen. And
no, I don't.
yes, you do.
I hop on like Zoom and hang out.
And YouTube.
Clearly you've learned that I'm not really built necessarily. I'm not,
That's
I
not true.
have
She's a
issues
natural.
with this.
She's a natural when
Thank
she's on
you.
her show. She is a
So
complete natural.
outside of me, who you're trying to gas up right now, do you feel like I don't know. I just sense like, do you have, are there people you feel like you've inspired I guess what I'm saying is like, do you view yourself as a leader in this space? 200 episodes. I mean, who does that?
You have to love it. And Sandra, I think she just told me a few minutes ago, she's on like 195. Oh, she says, you inspire me. You inspire me.
Yes. Right.
Inspire me. I mean, you have to love it. And I do
Mhm.
understand that I must love it to keep going. And I was thinking today how I used to, you know, always love talk radio, you know, as a kid. And I would be, I don't know. I mean, I was like 8 years old or something in the bathtub listening to the show Express Yourself that would come on the radio every night at 10 p.m. You know, and they would talk about issues like gangs, you know, they would talk about stuff going on. And I'm in the bathtub, little kid listening to Express Yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, just interested, you know, in conversation.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, congratulations. I mean, it's
Thank
no
you.
small thing. I've been watching since the first episode.
You have.
I went back through some of the episodes in preparation for this, and I can remember, Randy, that episode that was early on. That was one that
Yes.
really, when y'all discussed codependency, and
Yes.
he talked about essentially having a savior complex.
Mhm.
And that resonated with me a lot at the time and still does.
Mhm.
James is always fun
Oh,
to
yes.
as a guest. Speaking of,
Yes.
men, like
James
some of them,
Sims, very
yeah,
deep young man.
he
Just
is a
crazy
deep
deep.
young man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
deep.
he deep. He's deep. He's deep. He's deep.
Yeah.
So
Uh, your episode is one of my favorites. I mean, our episode was like 2 hours. When I was talking to you about you, that episode
oh,
was
that
so
one.
fun. That was a lot of fun. And
Okay.
that was a lot of fun. That was the first time you were on. And
Yeah, it was
I
episode
wrote
147
yes, thank you. I was about
or
to look
something
and
like that.
see what the episode number
Or
was.
121. It was something like that. It was in the hundreds. So it took me a while.
You know, it was 147.
Oh, it was?
Yes,
Okay.
it was
Okay.
147. And one of the things that I loved you talking about was how God talks to you, um, I think you were talking about how things unfold. You know,
Mhm.
it might be a
Yeah.
whisper, but they just kind of unfold naturally. And
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you hear like it's a whisper and then it's a bang
I
because you
know.
ignore it. But for you were talking about how really you follow the whisper.
Mhm. At my best. Yeah, when things are going the way they need to, I'm following the whispers.
Yes.
But yeah, occasionally I get the yell. It gets loud, and I'm like, must have missed it. But yeah,
Mhm.
it does always feel like this progression.
Yeah.
My communication
Mhm.
with God does feel like that to
Yeah.
me. So yeah, I yeah, that's
I like to ask how you're vibing with God, you know, on the day that I'm talking to the person. How are you vibing with God today?
today's been noisy for me. It really it's been that kind of day. It's been noisy. So like even with like the tech difficulties, it's been a tech difficulty kind of day.
Yeah.
Like it's just been that kind of day. And
Yeah.
it happens every now and then. Um
Absolutely does.
Ultimately I've just learned to kind of see that, oh, it must be something going on with me.
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
do. I don't I used to make it very, very external, but yeah, I see it as something what something's not in alignment and I just gotta
Mhm.
recalibrate things. So it's one of those kind of days. How are you vibing?
I think I'm vibing well. I'm, you know, trying to stay close to God, you know,
Mm,
after this weekend. And I've been saying, I know God is always with us. So instead of saying, you know, my inclination might be to say, you know, God, stay with me. It's been, you know, help me to stay close to you. And so I can, you know, feel that pull and, you know, just continue to hear and listen
good.
and
Yeah.
follow,
Be
and,
connected.
'cause I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to say like and you may have already said this, but like I don't know, do you have a favorite episode? Or you
Mm.
don't want to say that because we'll all get offended or what?
Well, your episode was one of my favorites, I have to say.
All right.
That was one of my favorites.
Okay.
Um, I I do have to say that. And then also my 24-hour episode
Oh, the marathon. Yeah.
was, you know, because, you know, so many of you, you know, were supportive and were a part of that episode. It was a real joint effort, especially, you know, in the last hour, you know, keeping me, you know, going in the final hour. But,
Mhm.
you know, just the conversations, you know, you got on the mic for a while, Sandra got on the mic for a while, you know, just, you know, people joined me on the mic, the people who were willing to come on virtually, like Elisa, you know, she was on when I was having technical difficulties on my end, and
Uh-huh.
she was still live. And so she continued on the conversation.
Ah.
And it was just, it was really something, and, I really, you know, those are 2 of my favorite episodes, and I love, my nephew, Russell, when he's on, those are some of my favorite episodes, and
Yes.
I had an episode, I don't remember what I don't think I wrote down the episode number. It was actually, like, around 102 or 3 or something like that, and it was about Deion Sanders and alpha men and, spirituality.
Oh, okay.
Uh, uh, Deion would often say, you know, after the games, he would be questioned in a way, and he would often say, you know, "You don't understand. You don't believe." That's what
Yeah.
he would say, "You don't believe."
Mhm.
And, just the conversation with Russell, he was just like, you know, because he knows, you know, like he has the knowing
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
him, and
Yeah.
you don't believe,
Oh,
but he knows. you know?
Confidence. Yeah.
So, and it was a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing for him. It's not, a cocky thing or arrogant,
Right.
and so I wanted to talk about that. And
Mhm.
I loved that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good. I remember now. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was a great conversation to kind of unpack
Yeah.
um Deion Sanders because he's fun to think
Mhm.
about, like the
He
way
is.
he
He is, and he's
operates.
real, and
Yeah.
a lot of people can't handle, a strong personality, that is knows who they are, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't comfortable with that.
So that's actually not a horrible segue into Dr. Cheyenne Bryant or Cheyenne Bryant. I don't know. What are we saying? I don't know. Um, I think I got used to saying Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, so I
Yeah,
still do.
yeah,
But if that's
yeah.
something you want to
Well, I
get
wanted to
into,
bring her up so because of doctorates, so the woman, Lauren Morton, who led the retreat, she just got
yes.
her doctorate, like, this month.
Oh,
She just
congrats to
she
her!
just
Congrats,
she just
Lauren.
Yes, she just earned her doctorate. There's been
Yeah.
some other people, and, I think about you and, the this is gonna sound very, unintelligent what I'm about to say. But I used to feel like, because I just believe in people being people,
Hmm.
and there's sometimes where, you have to always say a person's credentials. And so
Yeah.
I think when I was in my 20s or late teens, I used to think like, okay, you earned your doctorate. Like, do people have to call you doctor? Like, like, it's okay. Like, do we have to do
Yeah.
that? Like, and it would be told to me, by others, not necessarily that person, yes, you have to do that. And I'm like, okay, but, I understand,
Right. Right.
but, I do have such a great respect, now for what it takes that, I understand it. And also if you're Black, I mean, it's not often that you get your kudos,
Mhm.
and your credibility. And so it is, it is important. And so, in that vein, and you as Dr. Melody Kelley, I just I just am curious, what your thoughts are around that, as far as her, and the possibility that she may not actually have earned her doctorate.
So I'll say this: she she does have an honorary doctorate, definitely. That's for sure. And there is certainly a precedent around people referring to themselves as doctor with an honorary doctorate. So if that's what she wants to, so there's that. I think where a lot of people took issue was like sort of there's this the story gets weird with
Mhm.
her.
Yes.
Like she's claiming, right? Her claim is a bit controversial, which is like, I can't get my
Yes.
records, that whole thing. But
Yes.
what I but if you like, so does she technically have a right to refer to herself as doctor? There are people with honorary degrees that do that.
Okay.
She's not claiming that. She's claiming I completed a program and I
That's
can't
true.
show proof of it.
That's
So
true.
that's a whole different issue. So I'm
That's
giving her more credit than she's
yeah.
um and I don't I'll tell you this, one thing I don't do is I don't make it personal. Like I went through a entire doctorate program and I don't. Look, I have a PhD in organic chemistry because I wanted to be an organic chemist. And the only way you can be an organic chemist or be a chemist at the highest degree where you could go write a book, you can go do research, you can go teach somewhere, you can go into private industry. the only way you can do that freely in chemistry is to have a doctorate. So I got a
Mhm.
doctorate to do that. It was not to be called anything
Yeah.
or to be viewed in any kind of way. It was just to freely move through my discipline. Other disciplines are different. Psychology is a little different. I think that's her discipline. You can practice with a license if you have a master's degree, I think is my understanding. And like it's different.
Mhm.
So I don't have a whole lot of I'm a little disappointed with the whole I can't find my transcript thing that's happening and like doubling down on that, and it almost feels defensive and weird. Um but but I see a lot of people that are kind of making it very personal, like I
Mhm.
did this and I went through this and I just
Well, I can respect that a little bit because my close friend's daughter just completed her doctorate and maybe 30. She's maybe 30 and I've known her since she was a little girl and
oh
I
wow.
remember when she went to college,
Wow.
and just witnessing from afar, because 'cause she's
Mhm.
been out of state, just her journey, and she's finally done. Like, she just earned hers in the beginning of May. Like, she just, completed in the beginning of May. And, you know, I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah,
No,
it's not a
and
yeah,
just like,
it is.
and I'm not her family, I haven't,
Mhm.
been, like, up close, I'm a good friend,
Yeah.
and, I'm just like, "Wow, that's been a long time," like, you're
Yeah.
finally done, you're 30 years old, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
And,
Right.
just so did you how long was your process and how hard was it?
Yeah, I was about that age. I was about 30 when I was about 29 when I
Mhm.
when I finished, and it was a lot. It
Yes.
was a lot. It
And
was I mean, I
you're a single mom too,
oh
right?
yeah, that part too. Yeah, that
Mhm.
part too. And just it's going to be different programs, different institutions, but I mean like even I was so done. I didn't walk across the stage. I just told them to mail my mom my degree
Wow.
and let me bounce. Like I was done. Like I did it's I don't want to overstate this, but there's a trauma. Like to the point where I tell you this, out in the world, I will run into people who I went through grad school with, and it is not incredibly different from people who were in like wars together. Like it's not entirely different than that. Like the way you imagine like people who were in combat together. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yes,
Like
yes.
I like even in Metro Atlanta, I'll every now and then I'll connect with one of my colleagues from grad school and we'll just it's like it is an experience. It was for me at least an experience like no other. Um
Mm.
and so yeah, I don't covet it too much. That's my
So
point.
it was wait,
Now
wait, wait. It was an experience like no other because of the hard work and the grind of it, and
there's a hard work and there's a grind, right? There is a legitimate rigor to getting a PhD in chemistry, and then there's bullshit rigor. There's like unnecessary rigor. There's rigor because people don't want to help you. There's rigor because it is intentionally convoluted. There's just rigor, right? Like there's so yeah, there's purposeful rigor and it teaches you and you're like, "Yeah, I got through this." And then there's,
yeah,
the
yeah,
other stuff.
yeah.
So,
I've heard
um
that, what you just said.
yeah.
I forgot that I had heard that. And
Yeah.
where did you get your doctorate?
I was at the University of Alabama. I mean, there are parts of it where it's not again, I'm saying it's not unlike, but it wasn't unlike hazing. It wasn't unlike that.
Mm.
Like it was this idea that we're going to intentionally create hurdles because we had to go through the hurdles.
Mhm.
like there was a practice in my department. It taught me a lot about who I was. There was a practice in my department where, you have to defend your dissertation. Everybody has to do that. That's part of the PhD process. But one of the things that used to happen in the department is there would be sort of this rapid fire of like random questions that really had nothing to do with your PhD research, but you were like expected to have these answers like memorized. You were just expected to just know random things about the field and like uh, intense amounts of specificity to
Mhm.
great levels of specificity. And so the decision I made was like, I am not about to spend hours trying to memorize like a bunch of data points that actually have nothing to do with my research and are truly not a demonstration of how smart I was. So what I did when I defended my dissertation was I loaded a cart with all the books that I had. And I drug a cart. It effectively looked like a library, but
Wow.
I brought a cart of books with me to my defense. And once they started that practice that they do to everybody and it freaks everyone out, but once they start peppering you with random, what is this rate constant for
Mhm.
this, chemical process, I would say, hold on, let me look for it. I'd go to the book,
Yes.
I'd look for it,
Yes.
and then I would tell them what it was and then ask them if they want to follow up. I'm happy to discuss it, but if you think I'm going to memorize
Yes.
random pieces of information, I'm not doing that.
Yes.
And so anyways, my point was there's just real rigor and like
Wow.
not real rigor.
Now, do you
So
think that there's people that did not get their doctorate because the people who were against them or did not, they didn't pass muster because of these BS standards that you're
100%.
describing?
100%. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
denied,
They were.
if that's the right word. How does that?
Well, I think there were people who. Yeah, I do. I think it weeds out people, and I
Mhm.
think people were weeded out. Yeah, I
Mhm.
do. I'm sure of it. And if that didn't do it, there were other things
Yeah.
that, just like I said, just unnecessary
Mhm.
hurdles
Yep.
that really discourage people, particularly people of certain backgrounds.
Mhm. Yeah.
You didn't come into grad school with certain literacies. Um, it would scare the heck out of you if you didn't come with a community, if you didn't build a community, if you were alone. It
Mhm.
just wasn't a good place for that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, it'll be interesting how, that situation plays out. And I'm starting to
Hmm.
feel like a little bad for her in terms of, the backlash. But, I mean, I don't know. I was watching her on Joe Budden. I was trying to think if I watched her on
Oh,
something else.
okay. That was kind of
Yes.
before this most
Yeah.
recent blow up.
Right. But it wasn't that long ago,
It wasn't, no.
and but I felt like, she's really skilled,
Right.
what she's talking about, but she's a lot,
Hmm.
like a lot. And I don't and I don't like I always get turned off when people are not like nice people. And,
Hmm.
when I say nice, I mean like, don't treat you with, respect.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying she didn't treat them with respect, she did, but there was one comment she made to the one guy, I didn't like, but just in general, like, I don't like when people become like, you don't have to be nasty to me or,
Hmm.
talk to me a certain way, because then that's a problem,
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
talk to me any kind of way. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, and so, uh, and not, just I don't feel like that's necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree with you. Like there is an incongruency sometimes with like her
Mhm,
manner and and what she is at her best and like her manner of delivery and
Mhm.
such. Um, I also think there is a legitimate sort of critique around accountability,
Mhm.
that I've heard people make.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I don't think any of it is something she can't overcome. I'm not really a cancel kind of person. I
Yeah.
don't know if you could tell. Like, I think there's a pathway for for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, so just sort of a segue to this, and, you being a public official, you're out in the public. And something that I have noticed about some people is they're not necessarily um, like grounded when I'm talking to them. And so they might say something that's like not authentically true. It's not true.
Oh.
It might just be a comment. They might, you're just talking, you have a conversation, and they might just drop a little, phrase that is not true.
Like
And
what? Like,
I
do
mean,
you
I
have a
don't want to give
specific,
any
like, for an
example.
example? Okay. I mean, I'm just
Uh,
saying, like, what does a person
I mean, just
say?
something that's not, I don't want to say anything because I don't want
Okay,
anybody
cool.
to say
But
anything.
can
But
you say how you know it's not true?
because it might pertain to me, you
Oh, I
know?
got you.
And
Okay.
so, they might, be reflecting on something, and so it might, pertain to me, and, and it's nothing negative,
Mhm.
that they're saying, but I'll be, to myself, I'll just keep it moving, but I'm just like, that's not really true. And so,
But you'll keep it moving. Like,
yeah, I don't
you
call
don't push
them on.
back.
No, because I don't want,
Yeah.
no, I mean, there might be some people that I feel close enough to that I might push back on, but I mean, I have to say, let me take that back. There's somebody that I'm close to. I don't know if I'm close to in a moment, but I know very well, and I just can't talk. Excuse me, I can't talk to this person that long because it's so much bullshit. You know, I can't. I just can't talk very long. Mhm.
I hear you. I
Like,
same.
well,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna let you go now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just, and it's hard in this day and age. I think it's just hard for me because, I'm out here trying to get whatever I'm trying to get accomplished, whether it's through my
Mhm.
day job, through the podcast, through life, just trying to get things accomplished. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's like, I cannot, I can't listen to this, you
Mhm.
know, you don't
Yeah.
experience that, or,
I'm thinking, I mean, I think it's common. I think I do experience it. I'm just trying to remember. There's something coming up in me. Um, but I have to think on it. But particularly, I think that's really true in the political space
hmm
where people kind of get you
yes.
get you a little wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I remember, like, early in my career, uh, as a public official, I thought it was very important to, like, prove people wrong
Oh, yeah.
when in their, like, I thought it was very important to demonstrate that I was not in the box that
Mhm.
a person or a group of people might put me in. Then I started to see that in doing that, I was putting myself in another box. And I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
It was weird. I recently gave a, not a talk, but I had a conversation with a group,
Mhm.
just a group of professionals. And the question came up, do people ask you what political party you are? Now, I'm in a nonpartisan seat, so I'm
Mhm.
not, so we don't declare formally. And I remember saying, nobody really asked me that question because they look and they make the assumption based on,
Yes.
what they hear in the news and
Mhm.
such. And I used to take real issue with trying to demonstrate that I was like this independent thinker type person. But recently I'm just like, if you look at me and you see a black woman and you associate that with whatever you associate it with,
Mhm.
I'm good with that. Like
Yeah.
I'm cool with being whatever you think a Black woman is. Because that's how amazing Black women are.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
good with that. Like that's
Uh-huh.
cool. Like that's cool. And if you get to know me, I might surprise you in some ways, or maybe I'll be exactly whatever your imagination tells you. But
Yes.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to like
Yes.
demonstrate that I'm not this or I'm not that. And
Yeah.
it's like, so yeah, that's cool. You look at me, you say, these are her politics. Because the truth is, most of it's probably right. In truth.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I have to say is that for anybody who sees this, you are exactly the way you are right now with everybody. And you are a rare person. I mean, there's other ones out here, but you are a person who can talk to anyone. I mean,
thank you.
you are, I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know,
Yeah,
but
I
you
appreciate you.
you talk to people from all different, income ranges, all different lifestyles, all different backgrounds, all different races, and they connect with you. They connect with you, and you're exactly the way that you are right now.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
you will call a person on a thing. Like where I just said, I just let them, I just let it go, but it bugs me,
Right.
if somebody's not, being real, and you
Hmm.
might say, "You're not being real right now," you
Hmm.
know, like, "What are you talking about? Just yesterday you said blah, blah, blah," so
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know, but I know what you mean. There is a person, not to be specific, but there is somebody who I am just determined to get to know. Like, who
really,
are you? Because
they're not
you're
giving
not
you.
giving it to me. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah,
bull crap. Yeah, you're not giving it to me. To
yeah,
your point. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
you're so much better than me. I just, like, let it go. Like, you don't like me? All right. That's a you problem. That's a you problem, especially if
right.
you don't know me to not like me.
And it is. It
Yeah,
is a them problem. Boy,
yeah.
that was such a weight lifted
Mhm.
when you realize that. That's
Yeah.
such a weight
Well,
lifted.
I have one question I wanna ask you before I let you go, and
Huh?
I love this question.
Okay. I
Where
have one for you too.
you do?
Yeah.
Okay. And this I got from a TD Jakes episode that I saw in January, and I had to write this down. He was interviewing Jason Wilson,
Hmm.
and I was like, "That's such a good question." He said, "How do you see yourself differently now than you did in the past?"
Mm. Yeah, that's a big question. And I would love for you to answer it as well. So just to be
You have a
clear, you
question
you
for
are
me, though.
yeah, I know, but I want you to answer that one too. Um, one of the key differences, probably the main difference, is that I see myself as something that is becoming,
Ooh.
as opposed to, so I used to have in the past, if you will, I I had a very static view of myself. I am this, and I internalized a lot of things, and held a lot of, quite frankly, shame. I can't think of a better word for it. And what I know now, I'm just a lot more self compassionate,
Mhm.
and so my view of myself is more like it's the classic example of growth mindset, which
Mm.
is like, I may not be this right now, but tomorrow, like I'll get in the mirror and start posing. I'm working on it. I see myself as a work in progress,
Mhm.
as opposed to the finished product, which weirdly enough, I used to see myself as a finished product, but something that is someone who is capable of all kinds of change. How did you say it earlier when you were discussing the your prior relationship? Just no limitations,
Mm.
not putting those limitations on yourself. So I see myself with fewer limitations now.
Yeah, I love that. It's beautiful. actually. And you do not have to share this at all. It's a personal question. I simply want to ask if you want to share or willing to share what you felt shame around.
Oh, so much. But if I had to drop something, it would being a single parent. That's it's hard to wash that off.
Really?
It's hard even now. It's tough. I mentioned earlier that I didn't walk across the stage, and some of that had to do with the fact that I was disgusted with the experience, but there was also a worthiness issue. There was a shame issue too, in that. So it's this belief that, like, in the back of my mind, that for some reason I am half of what I could be, and I am this sort of fractured version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter how much accolades there are, it's like, oh, I got a PhD. I could have had two PhDs. I could have had an MD and a PhD. I could have been like, there's that. And so there was this episode of Mel Robbins, recent. I think it was recent because I watched it a couple days ago, where she was on with someone who was a specialist in regrets. And there are categories of regrets. And one category, this is the category that really answers your question. My regrets fall into the category I think referred to as foundational regrets. And these are regrets where you just feel like decisions you have made have had a negative impact on your life. And sometimes it's hard to get through that. And I'm still working through it. But if you wanted to know my source, it would definitely be single parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that and pulling back some of the layers,
Well, anytime, my friend. You ready to answer the question? I need you to answer it.
Okay. I see myself differently from in the past. In a much better way. Much better way. I was, again, when I was watching TD Jakes earlier, and he was talking about imposter syndrome.
Oh.
And I, not knowing that it was imposter syndrome, like not knowing that term or anything, I remember I had a position as a freelance editor with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution for a magazine, and just thinking about, am I worthy to have this position? And then there were writers that I would hire who I used to work with, who I would hire as freelancers, and some of them were would directly ask, well, how did you get this? As if I wasn't worthy, of this. And
those are special kind of haters.
yes. Yeah. But it took the work that I was doing to put into getting out each issue, to realize, like, I'm, good, and I'm, working really hard on this. Like what I'm doing is credible. And that's just one example, but I just, I've had a lifelong journey that I've talked about of having to develop self-esteem, as an adult, not having self-esteem when I was growing up, or having low, I should say, self-esteem, not thinking I was lovable, just even, as a journalist, I didn't go to school for journalism, and, just being able to to appreciate my hard work. And because I work so hard, too hard, to be able to reflect on that and say, hey, I did this, and this is how this happened because of what I did, in terms of, like, my, the work that I've done. I've been able to grow within myself and grow by the work that I've done, appreciating, my journey, I should say. And I've been able to spiritually, through my spirituality, I've been able to come to a love of myself. And even now, a lot of friends are taking care of their parents, who are elderly. I did that 20 years ago, with my mother and my grandmother in terms of caregiving. And just recognizing, just appreciating some of the things that I have experienced and how I've grown and become, like you said, becoming. And, hopefully, God willing, I will always evolve. But, just having evolved, and it's hard work. That's why when I brought up earlier the struggle to wholeness, you have to want that, and it's what I have wanted, and it's an ongoing thing. And so, and I like myself, and I think I'm, funny, and sometimes I make myself laugh. Like even at the retreat, I forgot what happened. I was in the bathroom. I forgot what happened. And I was like, I said, "What the hell?" I said that out loud in the bathroom, not out loud, but like in a low voice. I said, "What the hell?" And I realized that I'm talking and I'm not supposed to be talking. So I said, "What the hell?" Because I was talking to myself, and I was like, "Oh shit," and I'm just like laughing because I'm used to talking to myself. But I'm like, no, you can't talk to yourself, this weekend, not out loud, So I just
keep it inside.
So yeah, just appreciating, me, and understanding.
What's that mean? I want to thank myself.
Yeah. So I hope that answered the question.
So are you taking a moment to really, speaking just of appreciation, just to appreciate the milestone that is 200 episodes? Because it feels like you're working right now, but like, are you going to take a moment?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It's 200 episodes.
It's 200
Like
episodes. I know. Yeah.
and
It
you've
should be
grown so
more.
much.
Yeah. Thank you. I do. And something I didn't even say, in the beginning was that, Let's Start Healing was a finalist for the Atlanta Press Club Awards. And, just now, like this month, they had
Yes,
the
it
award.
was.
And that, like when I saw that, like when the email came in, I was just like, am I dreaming? Like it just meant like so much to me. And then after, I'm not looking at the email. And then I'm like, did I really see that? Like, could I, like, were my eyes lying? And then I had to go back and look again. And so that, yeah, in everything I do, from writing a story, like, before I even write the first sentence, whatever I'm doing, I'm like, God, please help me do this.
Yeah.
And so, it is all, just in step, with God and what I want to do, whether or not I'm successful or not. So, I appreciate you asking me that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think your episode with Dr. Beckwith is going to be the one. It's gonna be the one. It's gonna take you to, yeah. You're gonna be a finalist again. I can tell you that for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely dream episode. But I don't want you to disconnect when we say goodbye. I should have said that in the beginning. But well, we might have to disconnect, but we'll see.
Okay. I'm gonna stay put.
Yeah, stay put once I disconnect the live. But I want to say thank you. And we got it together, didn't we?
We did.
We did.
We had some technical difficulties, so we worked it out. Well, I did.
No, you worked it out. And I was talking to, I don't know, a recent episode, somebody put on their headphones like you have on, the earbuds, and that worked. So
yeah, thank you. And thank you, Tanya. I think that was where the idea came from
yes,
in
it
the
was.
chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Because boy, I was struggling. I'm on all kind of devices. I was struggling.
You're getting mad at me and everything.
Yeah, I'm like, figure this out. I did not get mad at you. You love being dramatic.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
So thank you for everyone who chimed in, and I will chop this up and tighten it up and everything, and it'll be online immediately, but I will definitely tighten it up so you can share it with other people. And
Yeah, tighten it up.
thank you. And one thing I am so bad at not doing is saying, please subscribe and like the episode and share the episode. And I'm good if you share it with one person, because I feel like, one can lead to another and another. Share it with a bunch of people. That's wonderful too. If you share it with one person, I'm eternally grateful. I'm so grateful.
Let's start healing, y'all.
Let's start healing.
Let's start healing.
Thank you.